let's go to the bane of my existence.
Oh, you'll have to talk more. I watched this, but I didn't see the end, so you'll have to fill me in a bit on the end.
Yeah,
and not fill me, but I know a bit of it.
We'll do the Cowboys loss in overtime to the Packers in the 4:25 hour America's Game of the Week. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. I think as a Cowboys fan, unfortunately, I had gained a little bit of hope through the season. I had said to myself, hey, our defense is really, really good. Dak's coming back. He looks good. But, we're just playing against the Bears and the Lions, right? And and this is the Packers. We're 2-8 now, 2-9 in the last 11 against the Packers. We can't beat the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think, has ever lost to the Cowboys. It's just an awful thing. And I should have known it. Instead, they're up 14 in the fourth quarter. Essentially, the breakdown is Cowboys are up 28-14 in the fourth quarter, and they give up 14 points late. They can't score anything. Aaron Rodgers marches down the field twice. They tie it. The Cowboys get the ball with 2 minutes left for a 2-minute drill, and Dak cannot get anything. It's basically that's 3 and out. Aaron Rodgers gets the ball with like a minute left. He can't do anything. They punt, and then we go to OT. Dallas gets the ball first in OT. They drive to midfield, and this is really when we get to see
I think.
Peak Cowboys in overtime when the game is on the line. They need a TD to win, and they just start committing stupid penalties. And this was the entire game. And this is my analysis for the game, which is what I've been saying since we started this podcast. And I've been saying it, for a year before. You know this, Jack. This team is undisciplined and unprepared. Okay. And it shows every single week, but most often in these super important games. The two picks, the two picks, one was clearly not Dak's fault, and the announcers, I think maybe it was Herb Street, I don't know, whoever was on the call. No, I think it was Greg Olson. He's saying
I think it was, yes.
Both times, the receivers essentially are not running the right routes. Like CeeDee Lamb or Schultz is supposed to basically bring a safety and clear a safety so CeeDee Lamb can have something underneath. And he basically runs the same route as CeeDee Lamb so that all the defenders are in the same place. Now, that's the first one. And that's on Dak, I still think, because Dak should be able to see why are there 4 guys running this route. Like they're all right in the – but maybe it happens so fast that he can't, right? The second one for sure, basically CeeDee Lamb is supposed to basically run a deep square in. And instead he runs like a deep slant out. And he – and it's super clear when you watch the replay. He's supposed to cross in front of the safety. And if he did, he would have gotten the reception because that's exactly where Dak threw it.
Yeah.
Instead, he went over the safety, and so Dak threw it directly to the safety. And it's just stuff like that where it's like, now, there's a lot of people at fault there, but why don't we have this figured out? Unprepared. Okay. That's just in the middle of the game. This is the stuff that we do. Yeah. Then we get to the very end.
Just people not running the right routes. Yeah,
exactly. And then we get to the very end, and it's a penalty. It was a motion. Some bench wide receiver is in. He motions from right to left, and when he goes to get back in the stance, he gets set a yard over the line of scrimmage.
Ooh. You hate to see those.
He lines up off sides, and there's literally a camera shot of him looking down the line, being like, I lined up a yard over, hey, what are we doing? And then, some other stuff that was a little bit frustrating, like ticky-tacky holding. The way I see it, I don't understand the holding penalties in the league. I feel like holding happens on every single play, and they call it when when it's egregious, when they
feel
see
it
for sure.
I think they should just get rid of the, not all holding, but like any. I think the only penalty on the offensive or defensive line post snap, so I'm not counting false starts, I think the only penalty there between the linemen should be hands to the face. I don't think there should be holding. The offensive line wants to hold, go ahead. But I think if defensive linemen want to do whatever, I'm not really sure. There's not really stuff penalized. But I feel like defensive linemen have a bit of an advantage anyway. in a sense. Like so that's why offensive linemen do hold, even though it's a penalty. That's why, like you said, it's you see it on every play, because if they weren't holding on every play, there'd be 20 sacks a game.
We get rid of holding penalties, and we get rid of roughing the passer. That's the answer. Yeah. We get rid of roughing the passer so these guys can basically they can get to the quarterback.
Yeah, they can actually sack the quarterback. and when they do, it's not, reversed and all sorts of crazy stuff. But in return, no holding penalties, so O-lineman can hold.
Right.
But yeah,
so sorry to get back a little bit on track here.
Yeah.
Essentially,
I was thinking about that.
They end up like gaining yards and getting pushed back and gaining yards. They end up in this 50 to 40 yard line, somewhere around there, and it's 3rd and 4 something, 3rd and 5. They run a slant route, and CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, I think in most people's opinion, is clearly interfered with, pass interfered with. He's got the defender has two hands on him, behind and front, kind of holding his arm. But it's kind of close. It was fast. And so they let him play. And I'm like, okay, you just called holding and backed us up 10 yards. But okay. And obviously Mike McCarthy's upset about this. And then they decide, okay, it was going to be a 55-yard field goal or something, completely makeable. They're going to go for it. They're going to win the game here. Questionable call. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. But either way, they go for it. They don't get it. Basically, Dak gets collapsed in the pocket. He tries to scramble out. He can't get anything there. And Mike McCarthy proceeds to, they show him on TV multiple times, taking the headset off and spiking it into the ground. Mind you, this game is not over. But Mike McCarthy's already taken his headset and smashed it on the ground. They've switched sides. The defense has gone out there, and Mike McCarthy doesn't even have a headset. They're showing him trying to get wired up. The tech guy's like, dude, we still got the game left. Mike McCarthy's trying to talk to him like, hey, come on, man, I just spiked my headset. It's like
he's already gone. Mike McCarthy's already halfway to the nearest Applebee's at that point.
This is what I'm talking about. Sponsored. Even coaching, like, what does that tell your entire sideline?
Yeah.
When you just say, you know what, F it, I'm going to spike the whole headset. What are we doing? The game's not over. You can still like I know it's over. Like, it's over because they just need a field goal and that's what they go get. But can we have some composure till at least the end of the game? Spike the headset at the end.
Spike it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brady style.
Right. Exactly. So this is just classic Cowboys, and that's my But everyone already knows who's been watching the podcast or knows me. This is what happened to get the Packers to have the get right game against the. Come on, man.
Against the 5-game losing streak, they rush. Foreboding sign for the Cowboys. You had the Packers rush while they're making a comeback as well. They rush for over 200 yards. And I'd heard that, like, I saw there's a YouTube video, Brett Coleman, I think. I saw somewhere something about an analysis of the Packers, like an analysis of certain things where they did better in that Bills game. And where they did better in the Bills game was they started relying more on rushing, because that's some of the best players they have are their running backs, is Aaron Jones. Absolutely. And like rely on him and do that. And the reason it didn't work there was whole analysis, but it's interesting to see them continue for the Packers' sake. I think it's an interesting note for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is much more locked in this game. I don't think he threw any picks. Christian Watson had 3 touchdown receptions, a ton of running. For the Packers, pretty good. And stopping the Cowboys when it matters, right? So on those fourth downs. But
I talked a lot about the Cowboys. I love that you got to give the Packers a little bit of credit here, because I'll
just give a second. I wanted to, give a second on the Packers just because, I mean, hey,
100%.
That's my number 1 quarterback. If anyone remembers my quarterback rankings.
Hey,